new to Magic? Are you at tables watching videos and wondering what in the actual hell-yod is going on? Well, don't worry, you little bitty baby. In today's short and succinct video, I'll be breaking down 7 common words and phrases that surround the MTG playing experience, and hopefully we'll all come out the other side a little less small brain and a lot more big brain. As always, this is the EDH Jank Center, your home for everything Commander and everything Jank, and I am your host, Jordan. Let's dive in. And just a quick disclaimer before we head into the list. If you're a veteran Magic player, you don't gotta stick around for this. This is for little bitty baby beginners, and if you want to stick around, you can. You're welcome to, but you know, you don't have to. It's your choice. All right, let's move on to our first common word or phrase of the day, and that is mana dork. And I'm not saying like, man, you're a dork. Wow, that was lame. Anyways, it's quite simple. A mana dork, which is something that you're gonna hear a lot because it's a very important part of the game, is a creature that taps for mana. That's it. The most ubiquitous of which I have chosen here, which is Llanowar Elves, although big shouts out to my main man, Bronze Walrus. That is the chonky boy of chonky boys, but that's neither here nor there. You can tell a mana dork from other cards because it'll literally say on the card, tap symbol, add whatever mana it's telling you to add. And mana dorks are a way to ramp yourself in Magic the Gathering, and ramp is a very important part of the game. If I play a forest, and then on turn 1 I tap that forest to play a Llanowar Elves, on my next turn, turn 2, I can play another forest, and on turn 2, I will be able to tap for 3 total mana. And that makes all the difference in the world. Also important to note that mana dorks, because they are creatures, are affected by summoning sickness and cannot tap the turn that they come in, unless they have haste. On the subject of mana, let's talk about another mana something, a mana rock. Any person who's played Magic the Gathering for a minute knows that mana rocks are even more ubiquitous than mana dorks. And the definition is very simple. A mana rock is just an artifact that taps for mana. And the reason they are so much more ubiquitous than mana dorks, in my opinion, and I think this is just fact, is because they don't have summoning sickness. They can come in and tap right away for mana. So for example, if you play a forest and then you tap it for Soul Ring, you can immediately tap it for 2 more and play an Arcane Signet. Then on your turn 2, you play another forest and you now have 5 total mana available to you on turn 2. And that, I think, speaks for itself. Let's move on to our next word slash phrase, which is swing or swinging. When someone says that they're going to swing at you, that means they're attacking you. It's more than likely derived from the act of tapping your cards, which I guess could be interpreted as swinging. And it just kind of made its way into the vernacular of Magic players. Now let's swing back to mana with the phrase mana screwed, which is actually typically replaced with an expletive, but you know, I try to keep the channel a little classy and elegant, you know, the hallmarks of my channel. But yeah, if you're around enough Magic games in your life, you will see this happen to someone across the table from you, or it will happen to yourself. And let me tell you, it is a feels bad all around. Getting mana screwed means that you just aren't hitting your land drops every turn, like a land per turn, or you just aren't drawing into mana sources as fast as your opponents, or at all. But honestly, don't fret about it. This happens to basically everyone at some point or another. It's just a frustrating part of this beautiful game that we play. And it can also be mitigated by building your deck efficiently, making sure you're running enough mana dorks, and mana rocks, and lands, and ramp spells, so that you are barely ever wanting for mana. Or you can always mulligan down to 3 lands, but that's not advised. It's fun and thrilling, but not advised. All right, moving on to our next phrase, which is board wipe. If someone is casting a board wipe, it means that they're casting a spell that wipes the board of something of a certain type, or everything of a certain type. These spells will say something like destroy all creatures, or they'll say something like, in the case of Cleansing Nova, choose one, destroy all creatures or destroy all artifacts and enchantments, and you can kind of assess the board and see which thing would benefit you the most. There are tons of different types of board wipes across all the colors in the color pie, so I encourage you to go out and research it and choose which ones you feel are the best fits for your decks. All right, let's move on to our second to last phrase of the day, which is I'll say go. And this is just a really simple way of saying I'm going to pass my turn to you. But if you're at an LGS, you'll hear someone say, all right, I'll move to my end step and yada yada yada, and I'll say go. And I remember the first time that I heard that, I was like, wait, what? But it's just another way of saying I end my turn, it is now your turn. And just like that, we are already at the last phrase of the day, but before we get into it, guys, if you've been enjoying this content, make sure you check out the link in the description to the Patreon. Joining the Patreon helps support the channel, and you get lots of really cool benefits, including access to the patron-only Discord. We've got a really awesome community in there of Magic the Gathering nerds, and we talk about sets, cards, spoilers, anything and everything under the MTG sun, and it's really awesome community. So if you feel like supporting the channel, check out that link in the description. All right, moving on to our last phrase of the day, which is yeet. And I'm not kidding, this is just another way people like me will talk about targeting something something to destroy it. For example, quote, I'm gonna cast Return to Nature and yeet your lightning greaves into Heliod, where they belong. And just like that, we're at the end of yet another video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, smash that subscribe button, and comment down below what phrases you'd like to know more about, or if you're a veteran Magic player, what phrases do you think are best for beginning players to know about? Did I miss anything? I'm always down there in the comments interacting with you guys, so come on down and have a chat with me. All right, that's it for me. I will see you guys on the next video.